Hey everyone, it's Jason. So today we have some special Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid unboxing. This is the Fan Appreciation Kit. Just went out to people that pre-ordered some of the brand new stuff from the Renegade store, so that company that makes the game. It's basically just extra little helpful or some extra stuff to like for fans of the game. So I mean, if you're people that have been buying everything, it either is still available or might be available on their site in the future. So it's not like a one and done thing. Renegade's Studios has been really good with all that stuff, even their Kickstarter content. They don't have it just for the Kickstarter. They made it available for people to buy later on, which is really nice. Yes, if you find this, none of it is necessary to play the game. Most of it is just optional things that you can get around, with a few exceptions. So the big thing is going to be this scenario book. So if you've been following the Power Rangers through like their Facebook page, or if you visit the Renegade store website about it, they produce scenarios every month, which are just alternate game modes. So what they finally did was they printed off the first, I guess it's 13 because it's number 0 through set number 12. And they're available here at renegadegames.com/Power Ranger Scenarios, and they're free. So you can get them, you can look at them that way, you can print them out. But there's 13 different ones. There's an introductory one, so it's kind of a, if you've never played the game before or you're trying to teach some new people, here's just a special setup to teach them rather than just throwing them right into the game and have things be kind of random. And then there's a bunch of other stuff. Here's all the awesome people that worked on it. Yeah, so what's really cool about the scenarios is it'll tell you what's required to play. It just says it requires at least the base game. It's going to tell you how to do a special setup. Stacking the enemy's decks. Remove these following cards that don't use all of these other ones because maybe they're a little bit harder or a little bit, whatever to deal with. Gameplay, some different stuff there. And it's actually kind of goes through here some tips for playing combat. And then first getting this special mode here that the first time you fight, you battle Puggy Pig, rather than randomly placing his cards, they tell you to place them exactly like this and put 2-hit counters on this one because it's a harder card to deal with. And the same thing like when you get to battle with Bones or with Rita, put these cards out in this order and do it, and then that way they're guarding a certain thing, or it does this, or that one's a little bit weaker. Yeah, so it's just kind of a nice way to start it off. And then they actually start getting into the other modes, which they get kind of crazy. Endgame, some variant rules. The variant rules are really cool. They've actually started adding these into other sets, so if you haven't heard about these, they have the basic attack. So what you're allowed to do is discard one card and roll a dice to do an attack. That way, if you have no useful cards in your hand, you can't play them because either they're maneuvers that require maneuvers or reactions that require something special, or they cost more energy than what you have. You're not out of the game. You can at least discard a card to at least try and do an attack. Maybe you might win, maybe you won't, but it might be worth it. And that's just they recommend using these from now on. But it's something the fans came up with, and they added it into essentially one of the official rules. And then the last stand is, instead of when all areas are packed, you instantly lose the game. Basically, here it says, if there's any energy tokens left, they're all discarded, but there aren't any, they lose. So basically, if you have any energy tokens left, like you haven't lost all your tokens, you can gain another extra round to try again. So it gives you one extra round, essentially. So I think how a lot of people play, because sometimes the boss comes out and it panics all the zones and then you lose the game. So fans started being like, you know what I'm going to do is, they came out, I have one chance. If I can still beat that boss in one turn, you know, like an unpanicked stuff, I can still win. Or an unpanicked enough stuff. You can't obviously beat the boss in one turn because you have to play him twice. But like here's set 2, or scenario 2. So it requires the base game plus the Green with Evil Kickstarter expansion. So if you don't have the Kickstarter expansion, you're not going to be able to do this one. So that kind of sucks. And it's because it requires certain characters or certain things that are available. Like, well, this one specifically includes the pumpkin wrapper, which is only in the Kickstarter box. But it's kind of a neat thing. They didn't just stick to only things that are available in there. So you have like Mighty Morphin Mix Up, which is a really neat one. You swap around different Ranger colors. So like the Blue Ranger starts using pink cards, Black Ranger uses blue cards, so on and so forth. And lots of these are based on like stories from either the comic books or the TV show. Like here's a Christmas one, Hidden Zords, and that will have little storylines. Rangers win, Rangers lose, certain things happen, you get little story elements. Dark Horde adds some extra locations. Golgar's Revenge. So here you also have Mega Golgar and Finster, Scorpina. Some variant ways to play with that even. Stronger Than Before uses the Zeo team pack. Rangers to the Rescue requires Shattered Grid as well. And you do some difference rescuing some heroes. Assault on Lord Drakon. You have to play some tiles some different ways. This one, I believe, you have to move through the map rather than going any direction. Rangers Reinforced. Up to 5 additional Rangers. Adds a little extra deck. Different things. I'm not going to read all this. Again, it's free, so you can always just go right to their website and look these up if you want. I just love the fact they made a book. I think, though, we're up to, since this came out, we're up to like 15, 16, 17, something like that. Yeah, so that's definitely cool. The other thing that they added in here was more dividers. Well, I'm not going to pull them all out, I guess. But there's a bunch more dividers if you got the box. Maybe let's see if I can get this to open. I'm struggling with Ziploc bags lately for some odd reason. Here we are. So if you bought in their boxes, which are available on their website too, here's just more dividers. There's some that have some Rangers on them, some that have monsters, some that have some bosses. And they're all duplicates on the other side, so here you have bosses, the monsters, and the Rangers. That's just so because there's more cards being added, and that way you can add some more dividers, or sort your cards out a little bit differently, however you want. And then to go with that, they also gave a sticker sheet. So I mean, it's kind of hard to see, but the little stickers you can then put on the, write your name like, oh, Mighty Morphin Green, or however you want to write them. And they did it that way versus giving you forced names, like, oh, this is Rangers, this is that. They let everyone decide how they want to do them. You divide them up, you write the name on there, and then you do it however you want, which is kind of neat, just because in that way, you get to do... you get to label them however you want. Some people like to just sort them out by Ranger teams. They're like, this is the Mighty Morphin, this is Zeo, this is Hyperforce. Some people want to sort them out per every Ranger. So you have the option of doing that. Yes, it's kind of neat how you can do all that. Then they also gave tokens in this set. And the tokens go like the scenarios. So they had present tokens for the Christmas one. Some pumpkin tokens for the Halloween one, Zeo crystals for the Zeo one, and some Life Force tokens. And basically, none of these are necessary. So if you download this scenario off of the internet rather than through getting this book, they just have you use your regular energy tokens. to represent these things, or something from outside the game, these a penny, a guy, or whatever you want. But they figured as long as they're going to send you this stuff, they sent little tokens just to represent the actual thing you're talking about. And then the life tokens were because that way if you have these in the command center showing how many lives you have left, you're not getting confused with why you have energy tokens in there. So that was kind of neat. Again, none of it's necessary. You don't need the dividers. You can download scenarios. You can use other things for the tokens. Then they also gave a pile of Megazord tokens. So in the original game, you only had the regular Megazord, which is just supposed to represent whatever Megazord you have out and where it moves, unless you bought the big giant Megazord figure. Then you can move him around. And they originally weren't really worried about printing off more Megazord stuff because not all of them move around the board. Like some of them, they do something, but they don't have to necessarily be on the board to do it. But the Megazord move from location to location. But people are like, yeah, I might want a token up to show I got my Megazord. So in here, they just printed off all the different current. Let me actually zoom up on these a bit. So they just printed off all their current Zords. So I'm gonna probably not remember who all of these are because I know. So that's the Zorg, Megazord. That is the Kronos Megazord, I believe. This is the Delta Megazord. The SPD Megazord. We have the... Not going to fit on there because there's no more. We have the Dragon Megazord. When the Dragon Zord combines with Mighty Morphin. We have the Thunder Megazord, which, if you're wondering about that, could be because they released the Thunder Zords in one of the new packs, which there will be a video for that too. The White Tiger Megazord, which I believe is also in that pack. And then this special little guy, who is the Ultra Zord. So this is the Thunder and Dino Megazord, I believe mixed with Titanus. And that we actually have. So all them tokens, again, aren't necessary. You can just use the regular Dino Megazord for the purposes of the game, like just to show you have it. But they just did it because I would, hey, if you want your Megazord token to actually represent your Megazord, you can now do that. So the only brand new thing that's not available anywhere else that you couldn't substitute for are these two Zorg cards. So they have Titanus, which can be used by any Mighty Morphin Ranger, as opposed to like red, green, yellow. So he exhausts this card to deal 2 hit damage to an enemy card of your choice. Basically comes in and he runs someone over. So that's awesome. And then we get the aforementioned Ultra Megazord. So it says, once per ranger turn in battle, any ranger may exhaust 1 Zord card to deal 3 hit damage to an enemy that has resolved. So it's a finisher up, but by the time you have this out, you'd have 5 Zords out. So depending on how many rangers you have in battle, whether it's a 1 to all 5, you could definitely do a ton of damage to finish off a bunch of things. It's just kind of like the combination of everything coming together. So that's really cool. That's the only ones there. So I mean, again, do you need to have these guys to play the game? No. Are they fun little bonuses? Yes. So if you're looking to have some more different extra Zord, another Megazord, this pack's actually pretty cool. I don't know how much it retails for. I want to say probably like between $10 and $15. I could be terribly wrong on that. It might be cheaper. It might not even be available necessarily to buy as a separate thing. You might have to get it like in a bundle pack with something else. or when they redo one of their Kickstarters or one of their promotions, they might have it as an add-on that way. So that is our fan appreciation kit. So if you're a fan, hopefully you got this. If not, check out, see if it's available. If you can't get it, sorry I'm teasing you with it. Alright, check out the other Power Ranger videos. See you guys later. Bye.